Okay, so attributes. So what is this attribute? Key attribute and multi-valued attributes. Because those are the notations that we identified in the previous slides. Let me show you. Okay, so in this slide, uh, now we have discussed entities and weak entities. So now we are going to discuss about these aspects, which means the attributes. Uh, okay, so what are these attributes? Key attributes and multi-valued attributes. So attributes are component what describe the entity. Okay, so imagine our entity is student. So student is just an entity. So imagine name. Name of the student is an attribute of the student entity. So name describe about the student, and age is also a attribute. So describe student entity, and maybe they will be having address. The address describe again student entity. Likewise, what are the components describe a corresponding entity? Those components are known as or called as attributes. The attributes are the components what describe the entity. It's very simple definition. Okay, so there are several types of attributes. So first one is simple or general or generic attributes or null attributes. And second one is composite attributes. And the third one is multi-valued attributes. Fourth one is weak attributes. Then derived attributes, very essential topic. Then the complex attributes is kind of complex. Then the key attributes, which is again very important. So everything is important, but these derived attributes and key attributes are most important things. You will see why is that later. Okay, so the first one is uh, simple or general attribute or normal attribute. So normal attribute can't divide for subparts. That's why it's called known as just an attribute. So there I have been given some example. The first one is student name, then the salary. So if we consider the student name as an attribute, so it's just a student name. You can't divide any uh, any phases, right? So salary is also a bulk attribute. You can't divide it for most part. So I'm not saying there couldn't be having multiple salaries, or there couldn't be having multiple student names. It is not the idea. I'm just saying those are atomic attributes. You can't divide any more phases. So in this case, imagine student name is just one name. Okay, so don't imagine student name as a first name, last name, middle name. Don't think like that way. Just imagine those are bulk attributes. Those are atomic attributes. Just having only one word or one instance in a set. So basically, those attributes can't divide for the subparts. Those attributes, those are atomic structures, which means only contain one data portion for each set. So that is what simple or general attribute means. And the next one is composite attribute. So the composite attribute is attribute which contains another attribute as its subparts. So this attribute have subparts, which means say imagine address is our attribute, so that attribute can be divided for the subparts. So like in this graphical representation, that address has been divided for street number, street name, city. So street number, street name and city are itself atomic attributes, but uh, when we consider those as a collection, it made an address. So address is not itself an atomic attribute, it's a composite attribute which can be divided for the subparts. Basically, composite attributes mean a collection of atomic attributes. And yeah, the first example is so address. So there will be having some kind of address like 222 Baker Street, London. So that address contains subparts. So when it comes to database management system, we are not going to store addresses like that, because there is a reason. Because some countries having this type of this format of a address, maybe some kind of having another format of a address. So in this address having three subparts, but maybe some kind of some format of address having four parts. So if we initialized or if we defined our address as a bulk aspect which represents the whole address as a one cell, then there will be some kind of controversial things. So maybe you understand what I'm saying right now, because all the database management systems are depends on the sets. So sets is basically a mathematical function. So each attribute that contained in the set should be let's say could be mapped for another set. So that's why we are going to define each and every attribute in the database as an atomic level. Otherwise, those sets are not made correctly, because sets having atomic structure, basically a database depends on the sets. Therefore, each and every attribute should be atomic level. So that's where this atomic structure comes from. So it is not seen for the user level, but when it comes to developer level, it is seen. Yeah, it can be seen. Okay. So maybe in relational algebra we can talk more about these aspects. So for now, just remember, composite attributes is a collection of atomic attributes which represent the bulk, let's say a collection of attributes. So the second example is employee name. So the employee name can be divided as first name and last name. So the first name and last name is itself atomic attributes which represent the employee name as an composite attribute. Okay, so if you smoothly look out this example, this address is within curly brackets. Address within curly brackets is street number, street name and city, and name within curly bracket first name and last name. So we are calling that notation or that concept as nesting, which means because that attribute is a composite attribute which having subparts of another attributes, so those attributes will be nest, or let's say a collection. So that's why we are going to use curly bracket to represent that composite attribute. So those are just standard notations. Maybe those will be important, but when it comes to ER diagram, those notations are not important. What the notation what are going to important is type of notations, the graphical notations. We are not going to make ER diagrams by using these text notations. So the third one is multi-valued attributes. So those are attributes that can contain multiple values when it comes to general states. Okay, so this is again kind of different than previous attributes. So basically I have been given some example over here, phone number and qualifications. So phone number might be having multiple values. So there will be having couple of phone numbers. Then that attributes have multiple values, which means this automatically becomes a multi-valued attribute. And again, multi-valued attributes is not itself an atomic structure. Okay? So if it is not atomic structure, then we can't define sets. If we can't define sets, then we can't initialize the corresponding database. So there will be some compromising situation. But I just say this ER diagram is just a graphical representation, or it's just a conceptual schema. It is not the general database. This is just a blueprint, which what we are going to initialize all the aspects that should be having in the relevant database. So because of that fact, we can initialize multi-valued attributes like this. Otherwise there will be a problem, because if we add a multi-valued attributes to a table, then there will be duplication, then there will be data anomalies, then there will be having, or let's say your database will be compromised because it's a data anomaly. But this is just a graphical representation. Therefore we can imagine our attributes as a multi-valued attributes which represent some kind of component in the database. So this is how multi-valued attributes are made of. It having multiple values. It's not atomic structure. Okay. So the graphical notations are these two outline sphere shape symbol. When it comes to text notations, we are going to use parentheses to identify show these are the multi-valued attributes. That's all about multi-valued attribute. Okay, so weak attributes. So attributes of a weak entity known as a weak attribute. Those type. Okay, so this definition is kind of a wrong. Attributes of a weak entity known as weak attributes. Those type of attributes can't exist without the parent-child relation. So I have been done some mistake over here. Attributes of entity. It's not only going to represent a weak entity. Maybe this weak attribute can be have in a strong entity. So yeah, I think this definition is much correct. So attribute of an entity known as a weak attribute. Attribute of an entity, let's say that maybe exist. Maybe exist known as weak attribute. So I think this definition is not clear. So maybe if you have source files or resources for the DBMS, just follow those definitions. So my definition is there is some kind of a wrong. So it's correct in this stage, but maybe it's better you follow the standard definition. So to get an idea what is the definition is, attribute of an entity that maybe exist known as weak attributes. Those type of attributes can exist without the parent-child relation. So parent-child relation is a topic that we are going to cover in the relationship state. So for now it is not necessary. What you should know about is this attribute of an entity that maybe exist known as weak attributes. So like family member name. And in this stage I think it is maybe it is not necessary to define what is this weak attribute means, but I can explain this aspect more about when it comes to weak relationships. So for now, just remember, likewise, like the weak entity, it can't exist independently, or it maybe exist or maybe do not exist. So that's the weak attribute means. So I think it's not clear, but it doesn't matter. I can explain this more about when it comes to relationships. Okay, so this is a very important one. Derived attributes. So derived attributes are the attributes which are generated by the database at the runtime. So they are not existing in a physical storage, but they may at the runtime in a virtual storage. So this is just extra one. This is not necessary to our topic. So what is the derived attribute means? It is not existing in a real data as a real data, and it is deriving, or let's say by using some kind of equation or by using some kind of mathematical aspects, it is automatically generated, right? So in here I have been given age and average salary. So those are the most common example for the derived attributes. So imagine age. Okay, maybe I mixed up these attributes. Okay, so in here I have been done some mistake. Okay, so for now just ignore this part. Okay, I in this stage I can't initially say what is the weak attributes. Okay, weak attributes will come at the weak relationships and weak entities at the end of this series. So for now just ignore this symbol, and this is the symbol for derived attributes. So it is basically itself a weak attribute, but we are going to define derived attributes by using this notation, right? So so if we go on notations, so this is the place where I represent weak attribute sign. Basically derived attributes is itself a weak attribute. So I explain it in this state. Yeah, I stop. Maybe over here. Okay. So derived attributes. So imagine age. So age is depend upon the date of birth. So imagine, let's say like this. So if you define some kind of a attribute field like age, then you should enter ages like, let's say 20, 30, then 42, like this. So it is completely wrong, because if you enter data values like this, then after a year those data is wrong, because after a year age will increases by 1, but your database doesn't know about that. Therefore those attributes will be remain same, so your database will be outdated, which means it leads to data anomalies, right? So that is the place where derived attributes come. So imagine instead of just giving an age as attribute, if we give date of birth, then by using some kind of a mathematical equation, we can generate age. So basically, in the database that age attribute exists, but it is not given by us. It is automatically generating by itself by using date of birth. That's why it's known as a weak attribute itself. Because without date of birth, age can't be exist. If there is a age, then there should be a date of birth. Right? So date of birth is itself a general attribute or a strong attribute, like in strong entity, and derived attributes is itself a weak attribute, because derived attributes depend on date of birth, or age is depend on date of birth. If there is no date of birth, then there will be no age. If there is age, then there should be date of birth. So basically, derived attributes is itself a weak attribute. So that's why I said to ignore this one, because maybe, I don't know, maybe you might be having some kind of idea, but maybe you having some kind of controversial confusion, because we haven't described weak relationships yet. But I think this one is more clear. So likewise, in entities and weak entities, there could be having weak attributes and normal attributes. So derived attributes is itself a weak attribute, because it can't exist without a relevant given attribute. Right? So that is basically derived attributes. The second example, average salary. So derived from salary and work period. So salary and the work period are the given inputs. Or let's say those are really existing on the database as data components or data portions or data paths. And average salary is automatically generated by using some kind of a math equation by itself. So imagine our salary is $10,000 per year and work period is 10 months. Then average salary will be approximately 833 and 3 cents, 30 cents. So it is not actually actually existing on the database. It is automatically generating by using salary and work period. Right? So I think derived attributes is clear now. So those are very important. Remember, derived attributes is itself a weak entity. It is depending. It might be depend another entity, another attribute. But we are only going to represent our derived attribute. We are not going to represent date of birth. Okay? So you will be seeing these kind of things in ER diagram. For now, what you should remember is this is how we are going to represent derived attributes in ER model. Okay, so the complex attributes. So as its own name, it is complex. So maybe your diagram having this sort of a complex attributes, which means your database is much complex. And maybe the having complex attributes is kind of good, because which means a complex attribute it going to divide for many parts, which means there will be more sets, which means which emphasize your database will be more accurate, okay? Or there will be less data anomalies. So those are the theories which are related to the relational algebra. So I don't think it is necessary to having some kind of a idea about relational algebra in this state. For now, just remember complex attributes is like this. So complex attributes are the attributes where composite attributes and multi-attribute attributes are nested. So nested means it is sort of a collection. So in a corresponding in a particular complex attribute, we'll be having maybe multiple composite attributes, or maybe multiple attributes, or maybe both. That is how itself become a complex. So here I have been given some example. So this is, I think, this is the exact same example in our notes. So the resident, address, phone, phone, area code, phone. Likewise, there are so many attributes. So maybe I think I have been given some colors for each attribute, so it will be easier to understand. So address, phone is first branching state. So address, phone, and address. Then the address phone having another multi-valued attribute, because phone is itself a multi-valued attribute. So the phone will be having phone number and area code. So it's a one branch. So the next branch is address branch. So address branch, which is this line. So address, there will be street address, city, and postal code. So city and postal code are just atomic attributes, but street address uh, is a composite attribute. So they will be having number, street, and apartment number, and that's how complex attributes are made of. So the key attributes. So this is very essential, and yeah. So these are the constraints for entities. Can't be multi-valued, should be unique. So in this state, I'm not going to explain again and again what are the key attribute means, because in the core concept, in the first video, we have been learned what are these key attribute means in a more descriptive manner. So if you haven't watched that video, you can watch it, then come to this slide. Basically, key attribute can't be multi-valued, it should be unique. So student ID and NIC are the most generic example for the key attributes. So student ID is a surrogate key type, and NIC is a natural key type. So I have been explained in the previous video what are the surrogate key type means and natural key type means. And any surrogate key is good way to implement a primary key, good way to implement as a primary key, and in most cases, natural key is not a good way to implement a primary key. So I have been discussed about those things in the first video. So I don't think it is necessary to discuss again and again. Okay, so that is basically what is key attribute mean. Okay, so those are the attributes that we are going to find in the PIA diagram. So the first one we have been discussed simple and generic attributes. Then we discussed composite attributes, and composite attributes is a collection of simple attributes, and we discussed about multi-valued attributes. So basically, multi-valued attributes is just imaginary component when it comes to PIA diagram. It is not really existing on the it is really can't implement in a real world database, because if it is implemented there will be data anomalies. Anyway, we have been discussed about those facts. And the fourth one is weak attributes. So the weak attributes is basically relevant to a entity, but maybe it can be exist, maybe it can't be exist, depending on the scenario. The fifth one is derived attributes. So derived attributes is itself a weak attribute. Maybe derived attributes, not maybe, derived attributes is not existing on a physical storage. Those are just automatically generated stars, right, by using some kind of a mathematical equation or some kind of a thing. And complex attributes. So by its own name, it's complex. This is a collection of maybe composite attributes and maybe multiple attributes, maybe both of them. So complex attributes. Then the key attributes. So key attributes mean basically it's a unique, and those can't be multi-valued. And I have been discussed about that those facts in the first video. Basically, those are everything that you should know under attributes. So yeah, this is the end of the second part. And the third part we will be discussed about relationships.